Welcome to the Channel 6 News. I'm Jim Kelly reporting. The County Council hears that a new master plan is still months away, and local business owners hear how they can save on their income taxes. We'll have those stories when the Channel 6 News continues. Don't be cold this winter. Call Nelson's Heating and Refrigeration today for preventative maintenance on your commercial and residential heating systems. Properly maintained equipment will save you dollars on your utility bills and prolong the life of your equipment. Relax and enjoy the warmth and comfort of reliable service from Nelson's Heating and Refrigeration.
It makes good horse sense to buy from Certified Ford. At Certified Ford, we take the risk out of buying a used car. Every used car on our lot has been reconditioned and thoroughly maintained by our service department. Service agreements and warranties are available on all used cars purchased at Certified Ford.
For a good deal, come on down to Certified Ford and see me and my pal Spot.
Certified Ford, your hometown dealer, 500 South Main.
Make safe investments of your hard-earned money with CDs from First Western National Bank. Why risk money in funds that charge fees when First Western National Bank offers personalized service with secure cash dividend investments? We offer the best CD rates in Southeast Utah with interest payment terms to meet your needs.
Now through the first quarter at First Western National Bank, a 30-month CD for over $5,000 has an annual percentage yield of 4.122%.
How are county planning and zoning activities coming along? That was some of the discussion at a short county council meeting Monday. Right now, the county is operating under a master plan that is 7 years old and by most accounts obsolete due to the recent growth in the valley. Money has been set aside to hire a planner to write a new document, but it will take time. Planning Commission Chairman Tom Rees says it will take until June before they can be ready to advertise for someone to write the document. A problem of recent sales of state lands in the county was also discussed. There are many parcels that the state is putting on the market which they sell as potential subdivision areas. The problem is the state doesn't talk to the county first about the impacts on roads, sewers, and other infrastructure. Council members said they want to be sure that buyers of the land are aware that just because the state is selling the land doesn't mean that a subdivision is always appropriate.
I would like it if people knew before they ever bought a piece of, or bid on a piece of state land, that they were going to have to come in and talk to the county so that when the Planning Commission expresses an opinion, like saying this is the worst subdivision we ever saw, that it would have some meaning to the guys who are going to buy that.
Rees said the Planning Commission is writing to the Division of Lands to inform them that they would withhold permission until plats are submitted. Last fall, Governor Mike Leavitt told the council that the state should and would consult with the county before coming up with development projects. The council also discussed economic development activities. While the office is being converted over to solely a film commission, there are still some economic development mailings that are going out. The council agreed to continue funding that. Congressman Bill Orton says he will run for re-election, not for the United States Senate. Orton announced that decision on Monday, saying the difficulties of trying to run both a Senate primary and general election battle would be much too high. Orrin Hatch has already announced he will run again and is expected to beat any Democratic opponent. Orton says he instead will run for a third term for Congress from the 3rd District, which includes Moab and Southeast Utah. Orton easily won 2 years ago. It was the official grand opening of the Cafe Rousseau on Tuesday, hosted by the Moab Chamber of Commerce. Restaurant operator Wendy Walker took over the operation of the Creekside Restaurant at the Greenwell Motel at the end of last year, and the Chamber of Commerce continued its tradition of welcoming new businesses to Moab.
Chamber of Commerce of Moab and the City of Moab are here today to do the grand opening for the Cafe Rousseau with the new owners Wendy Walker and Tom Petty. Welcome to Moab, and we wish you a very prosperous year this year and for years to come.
I've watched Wendy go up. I know she was going to do a good job, and I wish you the best of luck.
local financial planner gives you some tips on how you can give less to Uncle Sam. We'll have that story when the Channel 6 News continues.
Go ahead, make a wish. Then have your Allstate agent outline a life insurance plan that makes it all come true. Trust your dreams to your Allstate agent, who wants to be your agent for life.
John Fogg at Central Utah Insurance can help your family plan for the future. Call today.
Alpine Air has conveniently scheduled flights from Canyonlands Airfield to Salt Lake City and Grand Junction. Whether traveling for business or pleasure, save up to 36% on airfare by planning ahead. Discount rates are available on both one-way and round-trip flights. Serving Moab for over 10 years, Alpine Air is your Moab connection.
The 1994 Utah Travel Council calendar is out, and it features a number of southern Utah sites. The calendar is used to promote tourism in the state, and the cover is a shot of Balanced Rock in Arches National Park. January features a snowy scene of Fisher Towers with the La Salle Mountains in the background. There is also an April shot of the San Rafael Swell and Mexican Mountain. And Rainbow Bridge at the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area is the featured photo for September. Moab's Tom Till has a photo showing a lightning storm down at Monument Valley Tribal Park. The calendar has proven in the past to be an effective tourism marketing tool. The Utah Humane Society has blasted the state for cutbacks in the Division of Wildlife Resources. Utah's Natural Resources Director, Ted Stewart, recently announced that the DWR would lay off 28 people statewide because of a lack of funds. Last year, lawmakers cut general funds for the division, leaving the only source of revenue being hunting and fishing license fees. The Humane Society says that leaves the division held hostage by hunting interests and unlikely to pursue needed non-game wildlife programs. They also say that the move will result in less enforcement of poaching laws. April 15th seems like a long way off, but if you plan ahead and get your act together now, the infamous day might not be as painful. April 15th, of course, is the day your federal income taxes are due, and that was the topic of discussion at the Chamber's Tuesday luncheon meeting. The featured speaker was accountant and financial consultant Barbara Hicks, who explained some of the new tax laws and how they can affect you. The new tax law passed last year means the wealthy will pay more, but most of us won't see much difference.
For individuals, there's two new tax rates. You've still got the old ones. You've got the 15%, the 28, the 31, but now we've got a 36 and even a 39. Fortunately, these two higher tax rates only apply to 2% of the population, thank goodness. So most of us here, these new tax rates do not apply.
And for those who are having trouble making ends meet, there is some good news. For
people with single or married people with dependent children, if your income was less than $22,000 or in that area, that you qualified for this earned income credit. It's going to go up a little bit in 93, but going to go up substantially in 94. So there again, it might not apply to you, but you might know somebody that it does apply to. So that's good news for those lower earning families and people who really need that extra gimme from the government. And it's one of the very few gimmes left by the IRS.
And business owners also have some benefits from the new system.
Are familiar with the Section 179 deduction. That's what it means is that you can write off in 1 year the total cost of an asset up to, it used to be $10,000. Usually, if you're in business, you recover the cost of an asset through depreciation. It's usually over 5 or 7 years. But they've raised that expensing deduction up to $17,500, which is a real wonderful benefit for you business people. Take advantage of it if it makes sense in your case. Good news for the self-employed. You can still at least through 93, write off 25% of your health insurance premiums. That was, it actually was repealed and then reinstated at least for one more year.
Up next is the Canyon Country weather forecast when the Channel 6 News continues.
This isn't dinner at JB's. This isn't either, yet. This is JB's mouth-watering country dinner platters with all this for just this. Choose from delicious chicken fried steak, our new home-style meatloaf, or any other country dinner platter for just $4.99. Or try our lunch versions for $3.99. What more could you want? Nice try. JB's is a lot for a little. JB's is family.
Hello, my name is Michael Peterson. I'm the president at College of Eastern Utah. I'm here today to tell you about the expanded programs of the college in Grand County, and to do so I'd like to introduce the director of our Moab Center, Lorraine Gill-Smith.
Besides expanding the number of courses, we will be providing short-term training that meets the needs of employers. If you are an employer with a specialty need or are someone interested in improving your future, contact the College of Eastern Utah in Moab at 259-7257.
In Southeast Utah, we demand outstanding performance from our vehicles every day. You'll get top performance from your vehicle when it's serviced at Midtown Chevron. Our qualified mechanics service air conditioners, brakes, tires, front ends, and more. Take your vehicle to Midtown Chevron, the complete car care specialists. It takes more than determination to get to the top. Blue skies and temperatures up to near 50 degrees made for a beautiful Tuesday in the valley, and expect some great winter weather over the next few days. The forecast for Moab and Canyon Country calls for partly cloudy skies on Wednesday to turn clear and sunny by Thursday. Look for afternoon highs to be above 50 degrees with overnight lows down to around 25. The long-range forecast calls for a perfect weekend for outdoor activities. Look for sunshine and 50-degree mercury readings Friday and Saturday. And that's the news of Moab and Canyon Country. I'm Jim Kelly, reminding you to keep on smiling.
Welcome to the Channel 6 News. I'm Dee Tranter reporting. The county once again looks at cleanup in Spanish Valley. And the spring car show in Moab gets a big promotional boost. We'll have those stories when Channel 6 News continues.
Make safe investments of your hard-earned money with CDs from First Western National Bank. Why risk money in funds that charge fees when First Western National Bank offers personalized service with secure cash dividend investments? We offer the best CD rates in Southeast Utah with interest payment terms to meet your needs. Enjoy the pleasures of life, relaxing vacations, a rewarding retirement, and a college education for your children. Contact First Western National Bank, your hometown bank.
B. Osborne's Bookstore has the largest selection of books, magazines, and maps in southeast Utah. From A to Z, all the latest titles and authors you're looking for are available today at B. Osborne's. And special orders are our specialty anytime. Stop by and visit with the friendly folks at B. Osborne's Bookstore, 50 South Main.
Save 50% on Christmas cards and all 1994 calendars at B. Osborne's Bookstore while supplies last.
Subway has a complete menu of hot and cold sub sandwiches. Our sandwiches are served on your choice of fresh baked whole wheat or white bread. Pick your trimmings from a variety of garden fresh vegetables. For lunch or dinner, our prices stay the same, with sub sandwiches starting at only 79 cents. For breakfast, try one of our delicious breakfast sandwiches, like our ham and egg, or perhaps a Danish, strudel, or bagel with coffee. Subway, where fresh is the taste.
Canyonlands Copy Center, your custom copy service headquarters, with the fastest copy machine in Moab. No rush charges and free delivery. We specialize in binding services and high-resolution color copies. Canyonlands Copy Center, 76 South Main Street, above the subway.
Residents gave their views on stronger penalties for cleanup violations. Here's Ken Davey with a report.
It was another case of round up the usual suspects Tuesday evening when the County Council held a public hearing on the continuing controversy of if and how to clean up Spanish Valley.
The county is looking at establishing a minimum $100 fine for violations of cleanup rules. The county staff would be able to issue warnings, and if improvements are not made within 21 days, the fine would apply. It has become a very contentious issue, especially in Spanish Valley, with many residents saying they want to be left alone to do what they want with their property. And if that means a few old cars and equipment in their yards, that's their right. But others say the area is growing and that people investing money in homes throughout the valley have the right to expect their neighbors to keep their property clean and presentable. As usual, the different views were debated Tuesday evening.
Who's to say what is junk on somebody's property and what is good stuff? Who's to tell us we've got junk and your stuff is good?
I first came to Moab about 4.5 years ago, and the first time that I took a ride out to Spanish Valley, I guess I was kind of appalled at the way that people just put junk in their yards. And I understand that one man's treasures is another man, or one man's junk is another man's treasures, but I think that that should be kept behind a fence or whatever, and I think that the ordinances probably allow for that.
When you come to my home, my castle, and start writing out tickets and telling me what I can and cannot do, which has no implication of safety, strictly following the fine print of these atrocious zoning laws, then I have to stand up and fight, because many of the other issues are less easily understood. This is about freedom to do something that you think is the right thing on your own property.
You can have stuff, but do respect the other people around who try and keep their places in good order.
There's probably not a soul in this room that could not be found in non-compliance of some of these rules, some of these ordinances that are written down. And you get laws in the hands of unscrupulous people, and you've got inequity, you've got real trouble.
And I would like to see the administrative bodies enforce all laws, whether criminal or zoning, and I don't believe a county council really has the authority not to enforce the laws. And so I'm in favor of continued law enforcement.
I don't see how you guys can come in and tell us what we can and can't do. We're buying that property. This isn't Russia, it's Moab.
So I assume you're against this ordinance.
The County Council took no action Tuesday evening and instead decided to extend the written comment period for an additional 2 weeks. This is Ken Davey for Channel 6.
The Moab Rod Benders' second annual car show takes place the weekend of April 22nd, and it should be bigger than last year's. One reason is that the event got a great write-up in a major classic car magazine called Street Scene. According to club president Rod Petty, it came as a surprise.
a subscriber to the Street Scene magazine, and yesterday I got my copy and I was just going through it and happened to look at some pictures, and I go, gee, those look familiar, and I looked at the top of the heading of the article and it was our show, and quite a honor for us as our first show to be honored in a national magazine, so we're quite happy about it.
For classic car enthusiasts, Street Scene is the top of the line.
Well, if you're a street rodder, which is cars pre-48, it's like your Bible. It's what a lot of people take and they use for tech tips and see what's going on around the country, and some information that you don't get out of other magazines will come in Street Scene, and so we feel pretty honored.
What effect is this going to have on bringing more attention to this year's car show?
Well, I think it'll make quite a difference since the magazine came out yesterday, and I've received 5 calls last night immediately from places we don't even have listed to send our flyers to. So we're excited about that, and concerned that we'll have a show that they'll honor the Moab area and the Street Scene people.
Club members expected a few dozen people at their 1993 show. Instead, they got hundreds, and they expect more this year. Along with the show and the street cruising, there'll be social events, a classic sock hop at the high school gym, and a classic car swap meet, as well as some other surprise activities. The City Council says no to a Planning Commission request. We'll have that story when Channel 6 News continues.
Canyon Country Realty, the good guys.
Moab Hardware and Furniture is your home improvement center with high-quality Stainmaster carpets in great styles and colors. For high-use areas, tile adds a noticeable richness to your home. For a personalized touch, accent rooms with window coverings by Kirsch and Levalor. And custom wood cabinets are affordable at Moab Hardware. Add to the beauty and comfort of living with new appliances from GE and Hotpoint. Moab Hardware and Furniture, the friendly store.
Yeah? So what you got going planning at school today, Kobe?
We're doing an art project. You got all our stuff ready? Yeah, it's all in the backpack.
Hurry up, you're gonna be late for school.
Cool.
Best value, from our store to your home. Shop Best Value for the freshest taste and competitive prices.
Services will be held Thursday for former Moab resident Inez Blaine Johnson Young, who died Sunday in Orem. She was 79 years of age. Inez was an active member of the LDS Church, including 27 years as a primary teacher. She is survived by a daughter, Arlene Farnsworth of Fountain Green, and by sons Robert Young of Orem and Leslie Young of Idaho. She is also survived by brother Max of New Mexico and sisters Thelma Dalton of Salt Lake and Levon Williams of Moab. A viewing will be held Wednesday evening from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Dish Funeral Home. Services will take place Thursday at 11 a.m. at the LDS Stake Center, with another viewing 1 hour before the services. Interment will follow at Grand Valley Cemetery. Moab City Council voted against a proposal from the Planning Commission to get rid of the city's planned unit development laws. That decision was made Tuesday evening at the regular council meeting. Planned unit developments, or PUDs, are special residential projects that allow open spaces, setbacks, and minimum lot size zoning requirements to be suspended for individual housing lots if the entire project meets other overall goals. There are no PUDs in Moab, though one was proposed inside Holiday Haven 2 years ago. PUDs are popular in other communities such as St. George. The Planning Commission believes the current PUD rules have too many loopholes. But a Salt Lake developer whose family owns property in Moab wasn't convinced of that.
A loss to understand why you would want to repeal that ordinance. PUDs are considered to be very effective methods for controlling growth and development. They're widely used tool and obviously accepted. So I'm at a loss to understand what your reason for repealing the ordinance is.
I don't think we're against the idea of PUDs in general, but it's been kind of a consensus that our existing ordinance is so flawed that we should scrap it and start over again. And if someone would like to bring a proposal for a new ordinance to the Planning Commission, we could start to look at that, but our current ordinance has caused nothing but problems.
It's a philosophical question you've got to answer here. A policy question. Do you want that kind of development? Because as Mr. Berry says, we can write a good ordinance. It's not a bad ordinance that you have. It's not the one the Planning Commission wants. But I hear a philosophical undertone that maybe there's not an ordinance that can be written that you think will fit your unique situation.
I don't think it was necessarily our intent to not permit PUDs in Moab at all. But with the Holiday Haven PUD that was brought before us, it really opened our eyes to the ordinance that we have in place at this time. And there were a lot of loopholes in it that the entire Planning Commission saw. The intent of it is, and I can read right here, the development can carry out a better relationship between open space and the buildings. What we were seeing was a development that was just cramming a bunch of buildings in and not keeping the open space and the green space in perspective, and what we'd like to see in Moab.
It's brought home to us that we need low and moderate income housing, and it seems like to me that this offers an opportunity for people in the brackets in the service industries working to buy places and to occupy them. And really, the only way I could turn in my thinking, not doing something like this to meet these demands on the living quarters, would be to go to trailer courts. I mean, that's how simple it is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if we didn't have a PUD ordinance, that basically we weren't allowing PUDs. Personally, I don't have a problem with them. I think in that we did address one in the past and looked at it, it looked like a pretty good idea in principle. There were some concerns and some things that were brought to light that we needed to address, and I agree with what's been said tonight, that possibly amending the existing ordinance is the proper way to go. At least leave the ordinance in place until something is done to address some of the concerns that we have with regard to a PUD.
In the end, the vote was 3-1 to keep the current laws. In other business, the council discussed a request from Lynn Dish to jointly pay for moving a water line on his property. Dish wants to construct a small building, but the water runs right underneath that. To loop a line around the building site would cost about $1,000, but city staff said it would be better to move totally off the private property, and that would cost about 10 times as much. The council decided that's not something the city should pay for.
I have no problem with having the line moved if he wants to pay for moving the line. It's in the ground, it's serving the community well where it's at right now. If it's going to be moved, the entire thing should be moved. But I don't think that taxpayers of Moab should stand behind that cost to move that line.
In further business, the mayor reappointed Police Chief Alan West and Treasurer Maggie Snyder, but held back appointments for Recorder John West and Public Works Director Brent Williams.
Because the ordinance and the city manager should be involved with the selection of persons that exercises the power and performs the duties of that office, I wish to postpone until after I've had a chance to discuss the other two appointments until she's on board, or I've at least had a chance to discuss it with her.
It was good news for golfers. The council set the green fees for the golf course this year at the same rate as 1993. Well, up next is the Canyon Country weather forecast when Channel 6 News continues.
On the Edge, quality clothing in the latest styles and colors for the fall and winter seasons. Ladies and junior sportswear, western wear, and coordinated separates. Quality men's clothing. Take a look on the Edge.
One of the big problems is kids. Kids dare each other to do dumb things.
They climb trees or fences near power lines.
It's not too smart.
Sometimes they even try to climb power poles and towers themselves.
It's dumb to take a dare like that. It's deadly. Won't catch me up there. I kind of like being on the ground anyway.
Receive an elegant brass-finished Seth Thomas quartz clock through a special offer at Walker Drug. Bring 10 new or transferred prescriptions to Walker Drug between now and June 30th, 1994, and you'll receive a beautiful $40 clock free. At Walker Drug, we'll beat any prescription price and give you a free clock. Don't let time slip away. Bring your prescriptions to Walker Drug today. Walker Drug, 36 years of caring. It was a beautiful day in the Valley Wednesday with blue skies and afternoon temperatures up into the 50s. And look for some great weather for the next few days. The forecast for Moab and Canyon Country calls for clear skies through Thursday. Expect afternoon readings again up into the 50s and overnight lows down around 25. The weekend should remain sunny, but just a little bit cooler, highs in the upper 40s. And that's news of Moab and Canyon Country. I'm Dee Tranter reporting.
Welcome to the Channel 6 News. I'm Jim Kelly reporting. The hospital board is ready to make the big decision on who should run the facility. We'll have that story when the Channel 6 News continues. Make safe investments of your hard-earned money with CDs from First Western National Bank. Why risk money in funds that charge fees when First Western National Bank offers personalized service with secure cash dividend investments? We offer the best CD rates in Southeast Utah with interest payment terms to meet your needs.
Now through the first quarter at First Western National Bank, a 30-month CD for over $5,000 has an annual percentage yield of 4.122%.
Hello, my name is Lynn Dish, Director at Dish Funeral Home. Talking about death is often difficult. A death in the family may create problems for survivors which can sometimes be alleviated by discussion and pre-planning. We offer pre-planning counseling at no charge. Please contact me at my office for more information or to arrange for pre-planning consultation.
Enjoy the beauty and affordable comfort of modern flame natural gas fireplaces. Create carefree moments with your family and friends. Converting from a wood-burning stove to natural gas is easy and can save you time and money. Beautiful designer gas fireplaces feature gas or electronic ignition, high-low flame setting, 2-speed fan systems, and thermostat control. High-efficiency natural gas fireplaces are tomorrow's solution today. For more information, contact Utah Gas Company. We light a better fire.
Any decision coming out of Thursday evening's Allen Memorial Hospital Board meeting will likely affect the future of health care in the county for years to come. The board is expected to make a decision on which outside management offer they should accept to run the hospital. The bidders include St. Mary's Hospital in Grand Junction, Castleview Hospital and Health Trust out of Price, Rural Health Management in Nephi, and ARCH, a consortium of rural facilities in Utah. Right now, the hospital is in a perilous position with a big projected deficit this year and no taxing power in place. The board has spent hours reviewing the different proposals and talking to the applicants. And Channel 6 will have a special report on what decision is made on our next broadcast. Utah needs more child care for low-income families. That word comes from children's advocates who told state lawmakers that a 50% increase in parents trying to get into existing programs has strained state resources. Right now, human services are available to help subsidize some child care, which allows parents an opportunity to find jobs or get more education and training. But the state is going over its budget and is looking at reducing the number of people eligible for the program. Children's advocates say that would be a mistake and would in the long run add to social welfare costs in the future. The Mosquito Abatement District says it plans to get an early jump on what could be a busy year. The board has hired a new manager for the district, according to member Andrew Riley.
Well, we hired Bob Phillips, who served on the board prior to his hiring. And the reason we hired him is that he was far and away the most qualified and experienced of the 7 applicants that we had apply. And I must say we had some very well qualified applicants.
What were the qualifications that he has?
Well, he's got a degree from UC Davis, where he graduated with honors in entomology.
Phillips had been a member of the board, and Riley said the board looked at potential conflicts before hiring him.
All of us on the board actually were aware that if he was going to apply for the position, that there would be some questioning of it. And he was very, very wise and very careful not to try to influence the situation. He abstained from any votes that were pertinent to the hiring or setting of the policy for that.
Last winter, the Mosquito Board was in disarray and bitter arguments delayed much of the abatement activities, but this year, Riley says the new board is ready.
We feel that there could be another pretty good mosquito year in the future for us. Bob is already in a situation where he's going to begin monitoring for larvae. We have a policy in place that wasn't in place last year regarding how we're going to take care of the problems as they occur. And we're hoping to advertise real soon for employees for the summer. And we're going to get a jump on it this year, which I think is very essential.
Tests last summer showed the encephalitis virus in animals, though no human cases were found. But horses are susceptible, and Riley said horse owners should make sure their animals are inoculated.
Well, because we had a couple of cases last year that one suspect and one proven with the horses, the horse owners need to get vaccinated, get their horses vaccinated early this year, and make sure that they're not contributing to the problem, or that that they don't lose their animals due to the fact that we do have encephalitis in the area. So it's very important that they get a hold of Len Sorensen and get their horses taken care of as early as possible.
Even during the winter, the visitors are coming to Moab, and HMK students throw a pizza party. We'll have those stories when the Channel 6 News continues.
Solano Vallejo Villas, Valley of the Sun, the newest planned development located at Moab's beautiful 18-hole championship golf course. These Southwest design units are available in both 2 and 3 bedrooms with beautiful views of the golf course surrounded by red rock splendor. Coldwell Banker Arches Realty, Solano Vallejo Villas exclusive sales marketing agency, are taking reservations now to guarantee you the unit of your choice until construction is completed in the spring of 1994. For information, please call Coldwell Banker Arches Realty today.
If you put your home and your car insurance in the hands of your Allstate agent, you'll get a discount of up to 20% on a large portion of your car insurance, provided you're an excellent driver. That's the Allstate advantage. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Call John Fogg at Central Utah Insurance to find out more about how you can save on your home and auto insurance.
Quality RV Center and Automotive Repair provides excellent maintenance and repair services for all types of vehicles. Engine repair, electrical, chassis repair, welding, and trailer hitch installations are just a few of the services we perform daily. We sell propane and assemble customized propane hoses. At Quality RV Center and Automotive Repair, we service all makes of cars, vans, 4x4s, and RVs. 850 South Highway 191.
It makes good horse sense to buy from Certified Ford. At Certified Ford, we take the risk out of buying a used car. Every used car on our lot has been reconditioned and thoroughly maintained by our service department. Service agreements and warranties are available on all used cars purchased at Certified Ford.
For a good deal, come on down to Certified Ford and see me and my pal Spot.
Certified Ford, your hometown dealer, 500 South Main.
Park Service employees from throughout the Rocky Mountain region are in Moab this week for a special orientation conference. The Park Service brings some of its recent employees together each year as a way of improving their ability to serve the public, according to Ranger Art Hutchinson.
Well, this is what we call the orientation of the National Park Service. And in our region, which is the Rocky Mountain region, headquartered in Denver, 3 times a year we do an orientation course, primarily for people in their first through third years of permanent service with the Park Service. And the idea is that if you get employees started off correctly, in a sense showing them what the mission of the service is, telling them about some of the sites, how it is organized, and start them to thinking about their career. Even retirement, how are they going to plan for the retirement down the road 20 years that you're going to have a better, more effective workforce?
For many Colorado Plateau National Parks, visitation has been growing in recent years at the same time that the Park Service budget is getting tighter. The extra people has put some pressure on the resources.
The desert environment is fairly fragile. It adapted over millions of years to deal with low precipitation, winds, and all of that, but it really didn't learn to adapt to things such as vehicles, people walking everywhere, impacts from just increasing visitation, and that's a problem. And we have to decide what's appropriate, how much can these lands withstand.
But the increased visitor interest has also led to an increased awareness of the need to protect the land.
Well, probably with more attention comes more people's involvement in how these resources are going to be dealt with. Once people like them and say these are beautiful places, they are not deserts where you never would go, you get more involvement in just what's going to happen.
The orientation conference continues through Friday at the Moab Valley Conference Center. The parks are not the only places near Moab that saw big jumps in the number of visitors. At the new Multi-Agency Information Center, which opened last June, it was a busy 1993, according to Center Coordinator Jan Peterson.
From June 15th through December 15th, we had almost 64,000 visitors. Last year at this time, they had about 43,000 visitors. And total, we had, I think, like I said, 64, so that's a pretty big increase, about 18,000 visitors.
This is the slow time of year, but even in the winter, tourists are coming to Moab.
Months. Is it totally dead?
Oh, no way. I think with this nice weather, people are getting out. People are also realizing that if they can put up with a little cooler weather, that it's an absolute wonderful time to come with the contrast with the snow and the red rocks, and then with lower visitation. It's a wonderful time to come. We've had 400 people in the first week of January, which is wonderful.
What do visitors like about the new center? According to Peterson, it's the range of information available and the cooperative effort of the different federal agencies. What's been a problem? Peterson says it's language, with a large number of European visitors not always sure how to ask the right questions. Things should be relatively quiet for the next 6 weeks or so, then the flood of tourists will be back.
Well, from what I hear, March is a pretty busy time of the year, and so we're looking at maybe the first or second week in March, getting the staff back in here from the agencies to start staffing the center. So we think March.
Will you be expanding your hours at that point?
Yes, in March and April, we're looking at 8 to 7 o'clock.
It was a New Year's Eve party Thursday at Pizza Hut where fourth graders in Miss Whitney's class gathered for the festivities. At least it's New Year's Eve according to the Julian calendar.
We're here for the celebration and the Russian New Year. Because it's the Russian New Year, and we're also because we didn't have any office referrals.
So it's a reward.
So we're celebrating the Russian New Year. I bought a bunch of things at a yard sale for New Year's, and it just happened to work out that the Russian New Year was now the same time at the end of the quarter. And so we're taking advantage. The Julian calendar celebrates their New Year on the 14th, and so this is the 13th, and so is New Year's Eve.
Many of the students were wearing black and white, and for a reason.
Because the students in the school of Russia, they wore black and white outfits.
As sort of uniforms?
Yeah.
Would you like to wear uniforms to school?
Not really.
Well, no matter, any excuse for a party. Up next is the Canyon Country weather forecast when the Channel 6 News continues.
Now for January values. 3-pack VHS videotape, paint roller with telescoping handle, and Energizer batteries, now at Moab Building Center.
This isn't dinner at JB's. This isn't either, yet. This is JB's, mouth-watering country dinner platters with all this, for just this. Choose from delicious chicken fried steak, our new home-style meatloaf, or any other country dinner platter for just $4.99. Or try our lunch versions for $3.99. What more could you want? Nice try. JB's is a lot for a little. JB's is family.
Don't be cold this winter. Call Nelson's Heating and Refrigeration today for preventative maintenance on your commercial and residential heating systems. Properly maintained equipment will save you dollars on your utility bills and prolong the life of your equipment. Relax and enjoy the warmth and comfort of reliable service from Nelson's Heating and Refrigeration. You can't ask for better winter weather than Thursday, with sunshine and temperatures up into the 50s. And look for things to stay nice through the weekend. The forecast for Moab and Canyon Country calls for blue skies through Friday. Look for afternoon highs to climb above 50 degrees, but overnight lows should drop down to around 20 as some colder air moves over the region. Saturday and Sunday should be clear and sunny, but a little bit cooler, highs staying in the 40s. And that's the news of Moab and Canyon Country. I'm Jim Kelly, reminding you to keep on smiling.
Welcome to the Channel 6 News. I'm Renee LaFaurie reporting. the Allen Memorial Hospital Board takes another step toward finding someone to operate the facility. We'll have that story when the Channel 6 News continues.
Make safe investments of your hard-earned money with CDs from First Western National Bank. Why risk money in funds that charge fees when First Western National Bank offers personalized service with secure cash dividend investments? We offer the best CD rates in Southeast Utah with interest payment terms to meet your needs.
Now through the first quarter at First Western National Bank, a 30-month CD for over $5,000 has an annual percentage yield of 4.122%.
Coldwell Banker, Arches Realty, your neighborhood experts in real estate in Moab and surrounding areas. For commercial, residential, and investment opportunities, contact the Coldwell Banker team.
Looking for a great business opportunity? Katerina's Restaurant is one of Moab's finest places to dine. A turnkey operation with an established clientele, state liquor license, and a very positive cash flow. Contact Joe Kingsley at Caldwell Banker Arches Realty today. Canyon Country Realty, the good guys.
For January values, 3-pack VHS videotape, paint roller with telescoping handle, and Energizer batteries, now at Moab Building Center.
It's been a tough few weeks for the hospital board. Here's Ken Davey with a report.
After 2 evenings and 8 hours of discussion and debate, the Allen Memorial Hospital Board has narrowed down the choices of who should operate the hospital here. Those two choices are St. Mary's Hospital in Grand Junction and Castleview Hospital in Price, which is run by Health Trust Incorporated.
The board spent long hours in meetings on what direction Moab can and should go in providing a hospital and medical services. Following the defeat of the hospital tax proposal, there's been a sense of gloom at the facility, which grew stronger as the financial crisis deepened, and it looked like it might not make it. But things have definitely changed, and now there's a feeling of optimism that major regional healthcare providers see Moab as a place with a medical future. 6 companies originally submitted proposals to the hospital board to aid or take over the hospital operation. The 2 most impressive, St. Mary's and Health Trust, are similar, say board members who spent hours looking at both bids, trying to determine which is best in the long run for county residents.
Personally, what I'm seeing with St. Mary's is that they are offering a 4 to 6 month lease. They're offering, a 4 to 6 month management, and a leasing situation subsequent to that management, or not. It's certainly up to the board at that point when they uncover whatever they need to uncover in the deep recesses of this hospital in order to spell out the particular terms of the lease.
HTI definitely wants to get into this community with a lease or a purchase or something like that.
That's what I read.
St. Mary's definitely would prefer to have a management program, but they're starting to say, however, if we can't penetrate you guys that way, then we're willing to consider the lease situation. Otherwise, I think they would have come pro-lease last night.
Well, I saw more of a commitment on the part of Castleview Police, you know.
Well, I think it's reasonable for either one of them.
But they want short-term management first.
Right, and they're saying 6 months, 4 to 6 months.
St. Mary's was in favor of a lease, but the caveat was we would need to look into your books, which we haven't done yet. And from a financial standpoint, for any of them to jump in and say, yep, we're going to take it over and make it profitable.
According to Hospital Board Chair Dixie Barksdale, the decision will not be an easy one.
The 2 proposals were
were pretty similar in content. Some had strengths in one area where another had strengths in a third one.
Two factors made both proposals attractive: the willingness of the companies to physically take over hospital operations and a willingness to help the county pay off its hospital loans.
We'd asked for a lease arrangement, a lease management arrangement. Both of those would fit that need. St. Mary's had indicated a shorter term lease than HTI, but that was not a problem, we didn't think. The other factor was the indebtedness that the hospital has for the renovation that has just been completed. In our request for proposals, we had asked that be a point to consider, that an annual lease be equal to the payments that we would have.
So what happens now? It's more meetings with both companies and finally a decision within 2 weeks.
We will have made the decision by the 26th of January. At that time, the public will also be present, and we'll ask them to ask any questions they have.
It's been a long and involved process with months of worry about the future of the hospital here. Now the Allen Memorial Hospital Board hopes the decision they reach at the end of this month will set Grand County Healthcare on a new road to stability. This is Ken Davey for Channel 6.
3 Moab police officers are honored by the department. We'll have that story when the Channel 6 News continues.
Moab Hardware and Furniture is your home improvement center with high-quality Stainmaster carpets in great styles and colors. For high-use areas, tile adds a noticeable richness to your home. For a personalized touch, accent rooms with window coverings by Kirsch and Levolor. And custom wood cabinets are affordable at Moab Hardware. Add to the beauty and comfort of living with new appliances from GE and Hotpoint. Moab Hardware and Furniture, the friendly store.
Subway has a complete menu of hot and cold sub sandwiches. Our sandwiches are served on your choice of fresh baked whole wheat or white bread. Pick your trimmings from a variety of garden fresh vegetables. For lunch or dinner, our prices stay the same, with sub sandwiches starting at only 79 cents. For breakfast, try one of our delicious breakfast sandwiches, like our ham and egg, or perhaps a Danish, strudel, or bagel with coffee. Subway, where fresh is the taste.
Receive an elegant brass finished Seth Thomas quartz clock through a special offer at Walker Drug. Bring 10 new or transferred prescriptions to Walker Drug between now and June 30th, 1994, and you'll receive a beautiful $40 clock free. At Walker Drug, we'll beat any prescription price and give you a free clock. Don't let time slip away. Bring your prescriptions to Walker Drug today. Walker Drug, 36 years of caring.
Services will be held Monday for Moab resident James Joseph Baker, who died Wednesday. He was 74 years of age. He is survived by sons James, Joseph, Donald, Michael, and Larry, and daughters Lorraine Bates and Lynn Baker, as well as by 2 brothers. Services will take place Monday afternoon at 2 p.m. at the Dish Funeral Home, with burial and military honors to follow at Sunset Memorial Cemetery. A late-night rollover on Murphy Lane led to the hospitalization of 2 local teenagers. According to the Grand County Sheriff's Department, 4 local young people were driving along the road just before 3 a.m. Friday morning when the accident occurred. 2 of the car's occupants were uninjured, but 2 were life-flighted to St. Mary's Hospital. The incident is under investigation and charges are pending. The Sheriff's Department says alcohol may have been involved. The Moab Police took some time out to honor their own. Each year, the department chooses an Officer of the Year, according to Police Chief Alan West.
The officer this year recognized as Officer of the Year was Officer Mike Weiler, and that particular recognition or award is based on balloting by peers. So he was selected by the members of the department and was recognized as Officer of the Year. They try to use a criteria of improvement over the year's time, efforts that the individual has made towards the department.
Weiler has been an officer in Moab for 3 years. He explained to Channel 6 what the job entails.
basically when we're on patrol, we're looking for a number of things. Juveniles that are gathered in groups and whatnot, any type of criminal activity, trying to deter the crime. Unfortunately, driving around in a squad car is like driving around in a billboard, so they see us coming a mile before we see them, but just our presence out on the street deters a lot of crime, in my opinion. Before I became a policeman, I didn't really realize how much went on in Moab as far as crime and whatnot. We get a lot of little things, criminal mischiefs, burglaries, thefts, assaults. However, we don't get as many more serious crimes like the homicides and rapes.
Also recognized for merit were two other officers, Craig Bowen and Fred Gay.
Both officers were awarded or recognized for meritorious service, and both officers were involved in separate incidents that were similar, however, and both involved armed individuals that were a threat to themselves or others. And in both instances, the officers were able to safely remove the weapon from the armed suspect and take the individuals into custody for their care or for criminal charges as was appropriate.
Craig Bowen has been on the force for a couple of years. Along with regular patrols, he also helps teach the DARE program at the HMK school to provide the information youngsters need to stay away from drug abuse. Much of an officer's job is routine, but there's always a possibility of facing a life-threatening situation. In Bowen's case, it was an intoxicated resident in a local mobile home.
And the guy came out on the porch, was waving the gun, saying that he was going to kill us, he was going to blow us away. He came off the porch, started at first to go towards the other two officers, and automatically just did like a 180 and started walking towards me holding the gun in his left hand.
What goes through your mind, something like that? I mean, can you describe it?
A lot of things, really. You wonder how you're going to act. If it happens, you're wondering if he's got a gun, am I going to have to kill him? Is he going to hurt me, or is he going to hurt somebody else? Is he going to hurt another officer? And he just, about that time, it's just like second nature. All your training just sort of comes into effect, and you just, I guess, just do what you have to do and be as cautious and as safe as you can.
Up next is the Canyon Country weather forecast when the Channel 6 News continues.
Yeah? So what you got going planning at school today, Kobe?
We're doing an art project. Mom, you got all my stuff ready? Yeah, it's all in the backpack. Hurry up, you're gonna be late for school. Cool.
Best value from our store to your home. Shop Best Value for the freshest taste and competitive prices.
Alpine Air has conveniently scheduled flights from Canyonlands Airfield to Salt Lake City and Grand Junction. Whether traveling for business or pleasure, save up to 36% on airfare by planning ahead. Discount rates are available on both one-way and round-trip flights. Serving Moab for over 10 years, Alpine Air is your Moab connection.
In Southeast Utah, we demand outstanding performance from our vehicles every day. You'll get top performance from your vehicle when it's serviced at Midtown Chevron. Our qualified mechanics service air conditioners, brakes, tires, front ends, and more. Take your vehicle to Midtown Chevron, the complete car care specialist. It takes more than determination to get to the top.
It was sunny and warm in the valley on Friday, a sign of some good weather to come. The forecast for Moab and Canyon Country calls for blue skies through the middle of the week, but expect temperatures to drop a bit with afternoon highs by Monday down into the 40s and overnight lows dropping to 25 degrees. Monday is Human Rights Day, with government agencies and many businesses closed, and Channel 6 News will take the day off as well. Our next broadcast will be Tuesday evening at 6:30. And that's the news of Moab and Canyon Country. I'm Renee LaFerrie reporting.
Welcome to the Channel 6 News. I'm Jim Kelly reporting. Investigators say an early Saturday morning fire that damaged a downtown building under construction was a case of arson. We'll have that story when the Channel 6 News continues. Make safe investments of your hard-earned money with CDs from First Western National Bank. Why risk money in funds that charge fees when First Western National Bank offers personalized service with secure cash dividend investments? We offer the best CD rates in Southeast Utah with interest payment terms to meet your needs. Enjoy the pleasures of life, relaxing vacations, a rewarding retirement, and a college education for your children. Contact First Western National Bank, your hometown bank.
Receive an elegant brass finished Seth Thomas quartz clock through a special offer at Walker Drug. Bring 10 new or transferred prescriptions to Walker Drug between now and June 30th, 1994, and you'll receive a beautiful $40 clock free. At Walker Drug, we'll beat any prescription price and give you a free clock. Don't let time slip away. Bring your prescriptions to Walker Drug today. Walker Drug, 36 years of caring.
Canyon Country Realty, the good guys.
Moab Hardware and Furniture is your home improvement center with high-quality Stainmaster carpets in great styles and colors. For high-use areas, tile adds a noticeable richness to your home. For a personalized touch, accent rooms with window coverings by Kirsch and Levolor. And custom wood cabinets are affordable at Moab Hardware. Add to the beauty and comfort of living with new appliances from GE and Hotpoint. Moab Hardware and Furniture, the friendly store.
Fire damaged a new downtown building Saturday morning, and it looks like the fire was intentionally set. That word comes from Fire Chief Corky Brewer, who spent much of the weekend investigating the blaze at the site of the new Hogan building on Main Street and First South. The fire was reported at about 3:45 Saturday morning by a Moab police officer who was driving by. He immediately called dispatch, and within minutes the fire department was on the scene so soon that they discovered burning gasoline. According to Brewer, it looks like the building was torched.
Right now, the cause looks to be actual arson. It was an intentionally set fire, and looks to me like gasoline was used to do the destruction.
Any evidence pointing to who may have done it?
Not at this time. We're looking into every possibility, and we're also asking that if anybody happened to see anybody around this building Saturday morning, late Friday, to give myself or city police a call.
What kind of damage was done to the building?
Well, there again, the damage was held to a minimum considering what could have happened. Just a rough guess right now from the contractor. Replacing some of the things will be possibly around $20,000.
Ann Brewer said the investigation into the fire will widen over the next few days.
Investigation is ongoing. We're just really getting into it. We'll be doing a lot of interviews, and the fire marshal's office will be down with an investigator tomorrow.
What effect will cutbacks in the Division of Wildlife Resources have on wildlife management in this area? According to Game Officer Brett Johnson, no one is yet sure. A recent announcement by the state said that the division is running in the red and the action could affect state wildlife programs.
Several weeks ago, the division went ahead and they eliminated 28 positions from the Salt Lake office, and their hopes in doing this is to save some of the $1.2 million deficit that we're staring at right now. In addition, they would also like to have a little better accountability with the public and a little better communication with the public as well.
What effect will this have on the people working out in the field?
It's going to have a large effect on the field level personnel, because those 28 individuals in Salt Lake will now have the opportunity to bump some of those positions, and if you do get bumped the first time, then you have the opportunity, of course, to bump somebody else. So it's going to be a large trickle-down effect that's going to cause a lot of confusion for a while, and the hopes of the division is to have everybody in their new positions and the bumping process to be completed by March 1st.
Some wildlife advocates have been very upset at the state decision to make these cuts, saying that reducing the DWR staff will mean reductions in things like poaching, enforcement, etc. Is that going to have any effect?
Well, there's a possibility there. You know, once you go through the bumping process, you're going to have a lot of people in areas that they've never been before. People that have worked in the Salt Lake office for a number of years are now all of a sudden going to be out in the field, having to learn new areas, and there's going to be a bit of confusion, and there's going to take some time for these folks to settle into their new positions. So that could be an effect. We hope not, but that certainly is a possibility.
One group putting pressure on the division is the so-called Cowboy Caucus, a group of rural lawmakers who say the state and federal government does not take local needs into account when formulating policies on programs ranging from elk herd expansion to bighorn sheep releases. The DWR says it will try to work with local communities.
Caucus, we're going to try and set up what we're calling wildlife advisory councils throughout the state. Each region will have an advisory council of about 12 members. There'll be some of these caucus members on it, as well as sportsmen and state agency people, and we're going to take their input on wildlife issues and try to incorporate that more into our decision making. So what we're going to actually try and do is involve them a little bit more and let them see actually what we're doing. I think at the field level they really haven't had a chance to see how we've really operated.
The big problem, the state government has made wildlife programs more and more dependent upon hunting and fishing license fees for revenues. With drought-induced poor hunts in recent years, those license fees are shrinking. Division leaders hope state lawmakers will use general fund money to bolster their programs and are looking to the public for backing.
We're in a state of limbo right now. The division's going through a critical period, and I think if I had to say anything right now, I would hope that the public out there would give us a little bit of support. It seems like the division has been lacking in public support over the last 2 or 3 years, and rather than kick a dog while it's down, I'd like to see the sportsmen and the people stand up for the division, realize that we are managing wildlife for them, and to jump on our side a little bit and give us some support. We really need it right now.
The Park Service expects a big turnout and a lot of discussion at next week's public hearing on the Canyonlands Backcountry Management Plan. We'll have that story when the Channel 6 News continues.
On the Edge, quality clothing in the latest styles and colors for the fall and winter seasons. Ladies and junior sportswear, western wear, and coordinated separates. Quality men's clothing. Take a look. On the Edge.
Don't be cold this winter. Call Nelson's Heating and Refrigeration today for preventative maintenance on your commercial and residential heating systems. Properly maintained equipment will save you dollars on your utility bills and prolong the life of your equipment. Relax and enjoy the warmth and comfort of reliable service from Nelson's Heating and Refrigeration.
Subway has a complete menu of hot and cold sub sandwiches. Our sandwiches are served on your choice of fresh baked whole wheat or white bread. Pick your trimmings from a variety of garden fresh vegetables. For lunch or dinner, our prices stay the same, with sub sandwiches starting at only 79 cents. For breakfast, try one of our delicious breakfast sandwiches, like our ham and egg, or perhaps a Danish, strudel, or bagel with coffee. Subway, where fresh is the taste.
Go ahead, make a wish. Then have your Allstate agent outline a life insurance plan that makes it all come true. Trust your dreams to your Allstate agent, who wants to be your agent for life.
John Fogg at Central Utah Insurance can help your family plan for the future. Call today.
Quality RV Center and Automotive Repair provides excellent maintenance and repair services for all types of vehicles. Engine repair, electrical, chassis repair, welding, and trailer hitch installations are just a few of the services we perform daily. We sell propane and assemble customized propane hoses. At Quality RV Center and Automotive Repair, we service all makes of cars, vans, 4x4s, and RVs. 850 South Highway 191.
The Department of Veterans Affairs has announced that a special counselor will be in town this Friday evening at the Civic Center. Brent Price from the Provo Veterans Center will meet with veterans and their families to talk about benefits and special programs available for many qualified veterans. He will also discuss some of the special no-cost counseling service the department provides. That meeting takes place Friday at 7:30 p.m. at the American Legion office at the Civic Center. The draft of the Backcountry Management Plan for Canyonlands National Park is out, and on January 26th, the Park Service wants to hear from Moab residents. Most Canyonlands visitors stay near the developed areas, with only about 4% heading into the backcountry. But according to Park Superintendent Walt Dabney, that's enough to begin concerning park officials, who say their aim is to balance public access to the park with the need to preserve the wild character of the land.
Separate from that front country use is the back country. Many fewer people going in there, but they're the ones that really spend the time in there that are impacting the area. That use has doubled in 4 years. The number of people in the back country and as well as the amount of time they stay back there. And you know, such things as trampling and human waste accumulation and all those kinds of things. A number of people were coming in and saying, and our staff was too, this is really getting out of hand. The land is getting hammered. We can't just keep going this way without really looking at our backcountry management plan and how we're going to accommodate a reasonable visitor use and still protect what's out there.
There are some controversial aspects in the plan. One is a recommendation to close down Salt Creek to vehicle traffic. The creek is used as a four-wheel drive trail to near Angel Arch. Dabney says the aim is to limit damage to the only perennial stream in the park.
All you got to do is drive along, which I did in my own Jeep, looking down at my tires, stirring up the mud and all that kind of thing, knowing, you know, that can't be good, not counting what I'm running over, that can't be good for whatever's living in this stream. It cannot improve water quality, and I'm not even talking about whatever's washing off the bottom of my old Jeep. All those kinds of things, and I'm thinking, well, if it's 500 vehicles now, it's going to be 700 in a couple of years. And does it make any sense, especially in a national park, especially in the desert where this is such a scarce commodity, water, both certainly for wildlife, but even for human consumption? Does it make any sense to be driving vehicles through it?
Another proposal is to limit but not prohibit access to archaeological sites in the Horse Canyon area.
And those that have been coming to Canyonlands for a long time can tell you, they could go into a ruin area, archaeological site 15 or 20 years ago, and there were potsherds and corn cobs and flint flakes and all those kinds of things. and in many of those sites, they're absolutely picked clean. I mean, there's nothing for a visitor to go back in and see, and that's a thrill for a lot of folks, to see something that really was left by those people that once inhabited this place. Well, there's places in Horace that we feel are not picked clean or vandalized yet, and so what we propose to do up there is have either commercial or Park Service guided trips take you up there, take you through these places, escort you up there and bring you back out.
The backcountry plan is still in the discussion phase, and along with the January 26 meeting, the written comment period remains open until February 18th.
This is a draft, and the public meetings and the written comment period that's coming in, I assume that this is going to be tweaked. It's not poured in concrete right now, and we're trying to get as much information and feedback as we can. What's not particularly useful is, I'm against this or I'm against that. If you don't like something, if you don't like Salt Creek closure, tell me what you recommend is something that will accomplish what we're trying to do, which is maintain that as an important desert watering opportunity for wildlife. We're trying to maintain water quality in there. We're not trying to tear up more riparian area in a very narrow canyon. What are my options? You give me some other alternatives that'll achieve what we're trying to do.
That public hearing on the Canyonlands Backcountry Management Plan takes place Wednesday, January 26th at the Civic Center. Up next is the Canyon Country weather forecast when the Channel 6 News continues.
One of the big problems is kids. Kids dare each other to do dumb things.
They climb trees or fences near power lines.
It's not too smart.
Sometimes they even try to climb power poles and towers themselves.
It's dumb to take a dare like that. It's deadly. Won't catch me up there. I kind of like being on the ground anyway.
Alpine Air has conveniently scheduled flights from Canyonlands Airfield to Salt Lake City and Grand Junction. Whether traveling for business or pleasure, save up to 36% on airfare by planning ahead. Discount rates are available on both one-way and round-trip flights. Serving Moab for over 10 years, Alpine Air is your Moab connection.
This isn't dinner at JB's. This isn't either, yet. This is JB's, mouth-watering country dinner platters with all this, for just this. Choose from delicious chicken fried steak, our new home-style meatloaf, or any other country dinner platter for just $4.99. Or try our lunch versions for $3.99. What more could you want? Nice try. JB's is a lot for a little. JB's is family.
BF Goodrich TA Tires from Grand Tire. Suddenly, there's a lot more performance in your performance car. BF Goodrich TA Tires, when you're ready to get serious, go to Grand Tire.
It was another beautiful day in the valley with bright blue skies and thermometer readings climbing up to near 60 degrees. And look for more great weather over the next few days. The forecast for Moab and Canyon Country calls for more clear skies continuing through Wednesday and Thursday. Look for afternoon temperatures again rising to at least the mid-50s with overnight lows down to around 25. Friday should be just as nice with sunshine and readings again above 55. And that's the news of Moab and Canyon Country. I'm Jim Kelly reminding you to keep on smiling.
Welcome to the Channel 6 News. I'm Dee Tranter reporting. Grand County schools are honored for a model system-wide discipline program. And the man accused of killing a Moab resident last summer has died of cancer. We'll have those stories when Channel 6 News continues.
B. Osborne's Bookstore has the largest selection of books, magazines, and maps in southeast Utah. From A to Z, all the latest titles and authors you're looking for are available today at B. Osborne's. And special orders are our specialty anytime. Stop by and visit with the friendly folks at B. Osborne's Bookstore, 50 South Main.
Save 50% on Christmas cards and all 1994 calendars at B. Osborne's Bookstore while supplies last.
Make safe investments of your hard-earned money with CDs from First Western National Bank. Why risk money in funds that charge fees when First Western National Bank offers personalized service with secure cash dividend investments? We offer the best CD rates in southeast Utah with interest payment terms to meet your needs. Enjoy the pleasures of life, relaxing vacations, a rewarding retirement, and a college education for your children. Contact First Western National Bank, your hometown bank.
Receive an elegant brass-finished Seth Thomas quartz clock through a special offer at Walker Drug. Bring 10 new or transferred prescriptions to Walker Drug between now and June 30th, 1994, and you'll receive a beautiful $40 clock free. At Walker Drug, we'll beat any prescription price and give you a free clock. Don't let time slip away. Bring your prescriptions to Walker Drug today. Walker Drug, 36 years of caring.
Yeah? So what you got going planning at school today, Kobe?
We're doing an art project. You got all our stuff ready? Yeah, it's all in the backpack. Hurry up, you're gonna be late for school. Cool.
Best value, from our store to your home. Shop Best Value for the freshest taste and competitive prices.
Officials say that Daryl Reedy, accused of murder last summer in Moab, has died in Colorado from cancer. Reedy was accused of killing Vernon Pippin last June at a local trailer park. Reedy was charged with the crime, but court proceedings were put on hold while he reportedly underwent chemotherapy treatment. Reedy admitted firing a shotgun that killed Pippin after he and Pippin's estranged wife said they were threatened with a knife. But police said evidence at the scene did not back up that claim. The Grand County Board of Education has been honored by the state of Utah for a model discipline program. Of the 44 school districts in Utah, Moab was one of 3 earning Spotlight Awards at the recent State School Board Convention. School Superintendent Rich Averett told Channel 6 what the recognition was for.
The award was provided to our Board of Education for the work that was done this summer by a board member, students, and staff to establish a district-wide policy and responsibility brochure, which each student was to receive and to take home, outlining what they should do to guarantee each other as students a safe place to learn.
Essentially a discipline program?
Exactly. The program outlines the disciplinary activities and the responsibilities of students in numerous ways, including buses and everything else. And it outlines if this occurs, what should happen, the logical next step.
It's sort of a uniform sentencing plan where students and parents in each school are told in advance exactly what the consequences will be for violating rules.
The principals enjoy the opportunity of saying, but I don't have to deal emotionally with this. This is what has been agreed to by a committee, and this is what parents are aware of and that you as a student should be aware of. When this happens, this must happen.
According to School Board President Cynthia Smith, the Grand County program may be used as a model by other districts.
The Utah State Association of School Boards goes around and tries to visit each one of the districts during the year and see some special programs or activities that they think need to be spotlighted. and point it out to the other districts so that they could maybe follow their example or just to give some recognition. So we were really pleased this year to be given one of 3 Spotlight Awards at our convention, state convention in January. And I'm just very pleased that they chose us this time. It's been a long time since Grand County's had that kind of recognition.
It wasn't that long ago that school discipline meant talking in class and chewing gum. Now, in many parts of the country, it means guns, knives, and violence, problems that haven't infected Moab schools yet. And the district here wants to use the discipline program to keep it that way.
Now, if you were to survey an educational institution, you'll find that physical safety is a matter of major concern in most areas. Our program here in this district outlines a number of concerns that basically deal with respecting one another and the opportunity for learning. And we wanted to address it before it became a problem here in Moab.
If you are a deer hunter, 1994 may be a very bad year. Last year's hunt was one of the least successful ever. Years of drought followed by last winter's heavy snow decimated the deer hunt. Now the state's big game board said they may put a cap on the number of hunters in the field.
It's pretty clear that the herd is severely depressed, and it doesn't seem logical to me that we can put the same number of hunters in the field that we used to.
Officials are talking about issuing about 100,000 permits, just a little more than half the number sold just a few years ago. The state senator who represents Moab is pushing for a law that would allow the Elks Club to get its liquor license back. Last year, the courts decided that Elks Clubs in the state should not have private club licenses because women are not admitted as club members, and that policy was discrimination. Faced with the choice of opening up membership or losing their licenses, Utah Elks chose losing the license. But State Senator Mike Dmytryk is proposing a law to exempt fraternal organizations from complying with state civil rights laws. If the law passes, it won't automatically give the Elks liquor licenses, but it does remove one stumbling block. The state's Alcohol Beverage Control Board only grants a limited number of licenses for each area of the state. Should Utah residents get a tax cut? Some Republican state leaders say yes, but the Republican governor says no, at least not yet. State lawmakers have been told that the Utah economy had one of the best years ever, generating millions in surplus tax revenues in 1993. That news has spurred calls for a reduction in taxes and increased support for an idea defeated 2 years ago to remove sales tax from groceries. But Governor Mike Leavitt says lawmakers should wait a year to see if the robust economy continues and that the surplus should be reinvested in state infrastructure and social programs. The state economy is doing well, but how about here in southeast Utah? We'll look at the latest numbers of the growth of Moab's economy when Channel 6 News continues.
Enjoy the beauty and affordable comfort of modern flame natural gas fireplaces. Create carefree moments with your family and friends. Converting from a wood-burning stove to natural gas is easy and can save you time and money. Beautiful designer gas fireplaces feature gas or electronic ignition, high-low flame setting, 2-speed fan systems, and thermostat control. High-efficiency natural gas fireplaces are tomorrow's solution today. For more information, contact Utah Gas Company. We light a better fire.
For January values: 3-pack VHS videotape, paint roller with telescoping handle, and Energizer batteries, now at Moab Building Center. It makes good horse sense to buy from Certified Ford. At Certified Ford, we take the risk out of buying a used car. Every used car on our lot has been reconditioned and thoroughly maintained by our service department. Service agreements and warranties are available on all used cars purchased at Certified Ford.
For a good deal, come on down to Certified Ford and see me and my pal Spot.
Certified Ford, your hometown dealer, 500 South Main.
Hello, my name is Lynn Dish, director at Dish Funeral Home. Talking about death is often difficult. A death in the family may create problems for survivors which can sometimes be alleviated by discussion and pre-planning. We offer pre-planning counseling at no charge. Please contact me at my office for more information or to arrange for pre-planning consultation.
Leaders of the Navajo Nation say they might have to increase their taxes to make up for declining economic activity on the reservation and federal cutbacks in Native American programs. Navajo President Peterson Za said that with the slowdown in mining on the reservation, money for the tribe is getting tight. He also said that federal reductions in programs will also lead to health care shortfalls. Some Navajo economic development leaders are pushing for laws that would allow the establishment of gambling casinos, with the most likely site down near Page and Lake Powell. Grand County experienced significant economic growth last year, but average pay here remains at the bottom of the bunch when compared to the rest of the region. According to the Department of Employment Security's labor market report, jobs have boomed in the county. As of last October, there were 3,580 people employed here, 470 more jobs than just 1 year earlier. And that's a one-year increase of 15%. And that growth rate is among the highest in the state. And the new jobs haven't done much for wages in town. Grand County's average monthly salary is the lowest in southeast Utah at $1,256 per month. That's about $200 a month less than San Juan County, $450 a month less than Carbon, and more than $1,000 a month less than Emery County. A big reason is the heavy reliance in Moab on trade and service jobs. Those categories represent the lowest paid jobs, and in Grand County, those jobs total 57% of the workforce. And economic development was the topic of discussion at Tuesday's Chamber of Commerce luncheon, with a talk by a state business development official. Johnny Wilkinson spoke of Utah's efforts to establish rural development councils. Though vague on the details of what the councils will do, Wilkinson described what he said were overall goals.
What we hope we will accomplish with this Rural Development Council is to better coordinate the resources that are available, to avoid some of the duplications and overlaps that occur when one agency goes out and does something and another one goes out and does the same thing, state, federal, and so forth, private sector organization.
Wilkinson said he has noticed that Moab has become a different place in recent years with the increasing tourist boom.
I understand that you're going through some changes down here and some paradigm shifts, I guess you could say, in terms of how that's looked at and how that's funded and so forth. And I just want to say for the record that I think it is very important that local economic development be a partnership. It's got to be a partnership between local government, all the aspects of local government, and the private sector. This is vital, or it will not succeed.
He also added that his office is available to help Moab businesses.
Grand County is an area that we have been assigned to serve as a resource to you, the small business in Moab. And we want you to be aware of that. Want you to feel free to contact us if you need anything. Can't promise we can help, but we'll do the very best we can.
Wilkinson said the council meets in Provo to make it more accessible. Up next is the Canyon Country weather forecast when Channel 6 News continues.
Moab Photo Lab. Picture perfect photographs every time.
Coldwell Banker, Arches Realty, your neighborhood experts in real estate in Moab and surrounding areas. For commercial, residential, and investment opportunities, contact the Coldwell Banker team.
Looking for a great business opportunity? Katerina's Restaurant is one of Moab's finest places to dine. A turnkey operation with an established clientele, state liquor license, and a very positive cash flow. Contact Joe Kingsley at Caldwell Banker Arches Realty today.
This isn't dinner at JB's. This isn't either, yet. This is JB's mouth-watering country dinner platters with all this for just this. Choose from delicious chicken fried steak, our new home-style meatloaf, or any other country dinner platter for just $4.99. Or try our lunch versions for $3.99. What more could you want? Nice try. JB's is a lot for a little. JB's is family.
In Southeast Utah, we demand outstanding performance from our vehicles every day. You'll get top performance from your vehicle when it's serviced at Midtown Chevron. Our qualified mechanics service air conditioners, brakes, tires, front ends, and more. Take your vehicle to Midtown Chevron, the complete car care specialist. It takes more than determination to get to the top.
You couldn't ask for a nicer Wednesday in the valley. Afternoon temperatures climbed to near 60 degrees under beautiful blue skies. And look for even better weather over the next few days. The forecast for Moab and Canyon Country calls for the sunshine to stick around through Thursday and Friday. Afternoon mercury readings could go as high as 63 degrees, with overnight lows down into the mid-20s. But things could change by the weekend. The long-range forecasting says clouds should move in by Saturday, with highs dropping down about 10 degrees and a chance of some rain or snow by Sunday. And that's news of Moab and Canyon Country. I'm Dee Tranter reporting.